Good morning, everyone, and welcome to our Heavenly Parent Holy Community Oceania Hundoke with Reverend Yutaka Yamada. Today being Friday, the 11th of June, the 2nd of May in the 9th year of Chongalguk, and the 40th day, 120 days so far. Okay, let's begin as always with a bow to our Heavenly Parent and true parents. Kyombe. Paro. And let's recite our family pledge both in Korean and English. Thank you.
가전맨세 8. 전일국 주인 우리 가정은 참 사랑을 중심하고 전일국 시대를 맞이하여 절대 신앙, 절대 사랑, 절대 복종으로 신인의 일체 이상을 이루어 지산 천국과 천산 천국의 해방권과 속방권을 완성할 것을 맹세하나이다.
Family pledge number 8. Our family, the owner of Chongalguk, pledges having entered the era of Chongalguk to achieve the ideal of God and human beings united in love through absolute faith, absolute love, and absolute obedience, and to perfect the realm of liberation and complete freedom in the kingdom of God on earth and in heaven by centering on true love. Thank you. I'd like to ask Doug this morning if you could offer the prayer. Thank you.
Good morning, Heavenly Father, Heavenly Parent. We come before you this morning and pray that you will continue to be with us and guide us through True Mother's memoirs and all that we are able to discuss and bring together from these Morning Hundike readings. We have experienced in the last 3 months such a wonderful experience, a great development of hope, understanding of each other, of unity and deep inspiration, and many tears, Father, of gratitude. We are in awe before True Mother, who stands so strong, Father, unwavering in the midst of incredible weight of responsibility. And Father, we understand this now more than we have ever done before. Father, please help us to help our true parents, our true mother stand at this time, to be strong. May she feel, Father, our support. May she really be able to feel our heart and our hopes for absolute success and victory over evil, to end this world that has caused so much pain and suffering and bloodshed throughout human history because of our ignorance. Please help us to be fully aware, Father, of the hope that she brings to us in this world, and help us to proclaim her presence and her truth on this earth, that all might know that True Mother, true parents are on this earth. We report this together in the name of Douglas and Mary and all blessed Central families. Adieu.
Adieu. Thank you. Let's join together and welcome Reverend Yutaka as he shares with us this morning. Thank you.
Good morning, our brothers and sisters. Thank you for joining today's morning devotion in Oceania. Today is the 120 days. Daily each day we are creating our Chonsong and foundation, and put our heart and offer our heart, our heavenly parents and true parents. Really grateful to each of you, all also leader from Oceania nations and also family and brother and sisters. We are try how to prepare the better contents, better moment and inspiration, or share our heart together. And because of your supporting and your input and your Cheonsong, we can establish step by step and one by one the leading of our True Mother's autobiography, Mother of Peace. We could feel, we could understand more deeply our mother's heart and unite together. So unity and also the Cheonsong, this become the foundation which heaven can work, and also true parents and spiritual world can work together. So really we can put our heart and go forward. Then really we offer the victory to you, victory to our heavenly parents and true parents. Restore 1/3 of population and also share our heavens all blessing to our nation, region, and also the world. So I really appreciate if you have really more inspiration or idea how we can develop and how we can create a great moment. I really appreciate always. So thank you for joining our brothers and sisters today. Really 120 days is also one of the time to on the step for the future, step for the next. So let's do our best to offer our Cheonsong and also offer our heart. Thank you very much, everyone. So let's continue also our True Mother's autobiography. So I'm really can see many people have a inspiration or real experience, then put your comment and sharing how much important of the influence of media and the role of media we could see our challenging in the society or risk or threaten of the difficulty from the media side. How much we can share the right information, especially how we can share the Cheonilguk ideology, heaven's thought, peaceful message or principle, how we can share and educate and guide to the society and people. This is our role. When we see the history, we can see the providential flow which true parents guided. So how much true parents was investing to the each media effort. So we could learn and we could follow. We are not just observer. We are not just the third party. We are standing in the center of the history and center of the providence together with our true parents and behalf of true parents in each city and each place and each nation. So when stand together with true parents side, true parents point of view, we can find the new things, we can find the new view. So let's find well and develop one by one. So this media chapter is important. So let's read continuously. Yesterday we are talking about Sekai Nippo in Japan, News World, and Washington Times in America even receive many obstacles and opposition. And even financially, it's not easy to run the operate of Washington Times, a newspaper company. But in order to protect freedom and family value moral, and also the women's true parents lead this Washington Times, and the President Reagan, a top leader of America, and the British and all leader is totally supporting our Washington Times and also giving the influence to the society in the world. So let's see how those movement was happened in Korea and Northeast area. So this is the next part. Justice after tears. In the 1990s, when the Chinese government initiated its Northeast Asia project, to clarify historical facts and protect that area's stability. The Seige Ilbo newspaper sent a correspondent to the cities of Dalian and Dandong to do research. The correspondent was eager to visit the site of the Luoshun courthouse in Dalian, formerly a Japanese colonial court in that city, which the Japanese called Ryojun. Yet the courthouse, where a number of Korean patriots had been unjustly tried, was nowhere to be found. The Chinese government had long since sold the building. Historical matter is not easy things. Even there is same fact, but that depends on their standing point or depends on their view. Those history or this explanation understanding was changed. So when we see about Northeast Asia area, there are many kind of history. So in the 1990s, Chinese government had a project. Chinese government initiated its Northeast Asia project to clarify historical facts and protect the area's stability. So Chinese government was initiating that project. Then Seige Ilbo also sent the correspondent to research that area. So that place, Tsurumada is talking about Taelian, the formerly a Japanese colonial court in the city was there. So correspondent went there to research that building, but they could not find because Chinese government sold out instead of manage that building. My husband and I heard this report with heavy hearts, in pain, Koreans to hear how the historical footprint of our heroes and heroines of the independence movement who had risked their lives for Korean freedom were gradually disappearing. We decided to buy the building. That place, there is the important place where the Korean independent movement history was remained. In order to protect the footprint of Korean independent movement, hero, heroine, and patriot, three parents decided to buy that building. To us, the Luoshun courthouse is priceless. It represents the suffering of the Korean people in modern history and the legacy of their patriotic spirit. Our viewpoint, shared by many Koreans, was such a historic site should not have fallen into indifferent hands. In the end, after negotiating with the owner, the Seige Ilbo Corporation bought the building and restored the Luoshun courthouse as a museum. They invited experts to visit the site, and after conducting thorough research of all documents, they recreated the original courtroom. The Luoshun courthouse site is now a must-see historic landmark for freedom for young people from China and Korea and others who visit Dalian. So finally, the parents decided to buy the name of Seige Ilbo to research the past history and to open the new museum. So now this became the historical landmark in Dalian. So keep the history and deliver and inherit to the next generation. This is important things. How much are we having the interest and concern about history and thinking about the next generation? Once those historical building was disappear, it's not easy to find again and establish again. We know one famous history about Truffaut. When Truffaut came out from Funnam prison, and when he went down from north to south till father had the cloth, the prison cloth that time. And father said to one disciple, this is the historical things. Even you lose everything, you have to keep and protect this one, and you have to return back when we went to South Korea. So father asked to one disciple to keep this cloth which father had worn in the Hunan prison, and asked to disciple, but what's happened? Disciple didn't think deeply, and just he lost these things. So how was history? If once lose this kind of historical material, we cannot find again. That's why how we can protect and how we can inherit to the next generation, we have to understand the value of each things. Now we are living together with true parents. True father already went to spiritual world, but true mother now is living in the physical world together with us. When we understand the meaning and importance of the time, we could rethink again how precious and how much grateful we are. So we need to really prepare and understand and to inherit for the next generation all history together with our own experience also. And also providential investment should be continue in this age and in the future. So anyway, if you have opportunity to go to China, you can visit to this place and you can feel how true parents invested that place. As this was a project benefiting all of Korea, we invited Korean citizens to contribute money. In 1993, through the Segeilbo Corporation, we founded the Yesun Patriotic Marthy Memorial Foundation Corporation. Besides gathering historical stories about the bravery, determination, and sacrifice of those who fought for Korea's independence, the foundation also works for peace in Northeast Asia. In order to protect those history for hero and heroine who fought for Korean freedom, the Segeilbo offer and to make a project together with founding and true parents establish this Yesun Patriotic Marty Memorial Foundation Corporation. And this corporation is also supporting in this time continuously for peace in Northeast Asia. Historically, relations between neighboring countries in Northeast Asia have been complicated. Creating peace is like unraveling a ball of tangled yarn. It is difficult to find where to begin, but nothing will be accomplished by sitting with arms crossed. When the Sege Times Corporation reconstructed the Lucian courthouse, it did so to capture the anguish of the past age and enable visitors to experience the history of the Korean people overcoming a national crisis. How we can solve the complication of the history between nation and nation. Segeilbo restore the Lucian courthouse and to let people have the historical mind and connect to experience the history. When we see the history in each nation, how much we could understand. Do you know the deep history of your nation and background? In Oceania, I think there are many complicated history also between nation and nation and between country and country. If we are standing this nation's point of view, this person become the patriot, father said. If we see the Korean point of view, when he see the Lee Sun-shin, the so famous general. If Korean people see the Lee Sun-shin, the general, from Korean point of view, this person is patriot. But if see from the enemy country, anyway, that time was Japan, from the Japanese point of view, Lee Sun-shin is not the patriot. This is enemy. That's why Father is talking about we have to be beyond the national concept. Then we could see how each person's standing point. So we have to understand not only the family level, not only races level, not only national level. We have to stand the really world level. Even we have to stand really the God's point of view. So when we see the history, Australia history, New Zealand history, of all island nations history, there are many kind of background. And when we see only history, it's not easy to solve easily between different party. But beyond of that, how we can understand in the Heavenly Parents' point of view and True Parents' point of view, and we have to learn and inherit next generation. This is important things. So each nation, we have to think how we can study and how to find the real or ideal point of the meaning of the history. This is also our role in media in the same time. It also points to the importance of creating peace within and among nations, as well as launching newspaper in Japan and the United States. Our movement launched Tiempo del Mundo in Latin America and the Middle East Times in Istanbul, but it was only in 1989 that the Korean government instituted the freedom of the press that allowed us to launch the Segeilbo newspaper in Seoul in order to make peace, creating peace within and among nations. The role of media is important, how we can concern that. So 1989, finally, Korean Segeilbo was established. So I heard there was the Segeilbo province in Korea that time. And many missionary, maybe many Japanese or many foreign missionary went to Korea, then became the newspaper worker to deliver the Segeilbo to the people in Korea, right? I think some of you went to Korea. Maybe this is first time. If you are difficult to study or difficult to speak Korean language, but you went there under the Segeilbo and you deliver the newspaper to the all place in Korea. So really, Father is guiding the providence together with the world people, the foundation and brother and sisters. So when we see the history of providence, really our all brothers and sisters in the world work together. Father called all people come to America, everyone come to America, right? And call people come, ask, Father ask you to come to Korea, go to Korea, Africa and Africa, and Alaska and Alaska. Their father and mother, you are really great person. You went to also South Jardine, South America. It's not easy things to go there, right? To buy the air ticket and all material. But Father did it, and all our brothers and sisters also work together, follow that. So if normal person saw you, saw us, they will be amazing. Where you, do you remember where did you sleep in Cheongbuk in the beginning time? No place. Even cold or hot, woman and family, doesn't matter. Just gather together. Some is sleeping in the floor. Some is sleeping on the table, in the kitchen, right? Wow, this is really great person. Without a word, without reward. Really, when we see our true parents' initiation, providence, or brothers and sisters, really, you are a great person. We are a great person. So we could see, I'm not sure our next generation, how they can imagine or commitment or heart level and investment. That's why really history and inheriting for next generation is really important. Anyway, our first generation group or our also second generation, our blessed family or brothers and sisters, really great. Creating the history together with our heavenly parents and true parents. Since a religious movement founded the newspaper, we naturally faced opposition. As in the United States and Japan, Mockley circulated. Just watch it become a mouthpiece promoting the unification church. People said it will be nothing but a religious tract. The haughtiest voices predicted it will stop printing before the year is out. So when the parents organized and also established a newspaper as a religious movement, many people, and also we face the many opposition in America, in Japan, even in Korea. There was a tough time because they are thinking this newspaper is the mouthpiece promoting the unification church. So they are thinking this will be crossed down immediately. But what happened after that? But our determination to produce a professional news source that could serve Korea by providing fair and unbiased news and opinion was unwavering. On February 1, 1989, the presses started up and 1.2 million copies of the first edition of Seige Ilbo came rolling out. We held fast to the creed that the news media must be the voice of conscience and of the truth. This conviction has remained steadfast for more than 30 years. So because of that determination to produce a professional news source that could serve Korea, this newspaper, the Seige Ilbo, was continuing until now, more than 30 years. And how many pieces, how many copies was distributed in the beginning? 1.2 million copies, and 30 years and more than that. So those continuation and investment is great. Our efforts garnered more than just verbal criticism. After Seige Ilbo exposed the Korean ruling party's corruption, innocent and unrelated enterprise we had founded were suddenly subjected to overbearing tax investigations that drove some into bankruptcy. The government targeted companies such as Tongil Industries, which produced essential machine parts, and Tongyang Agricultural Machinery, which manufactured specialized farming equipment, and forced them to shut down. Always there is criticize, and Seige Ilbo did the righteous and right things, but because of that, sometimes they are targeted by the government, like Danbury prison history. Three parents did the right things, but they are targeted also from others. So because of that, many company which unification movement operated was forced to shut down. So who we are fighting now, and what kind of things we try to do, and what kind of things is our target and goal. Each nation we have to think well and make clear what is our purpose, what is our target, what kind of things we are fighting now. We need to clear strategy, plan, and preparation and unity. This is important task and responsibility for us. Baraya's powerful interest demanded that we fire the newspaper's chief editor. We did not surrender to threat or enticements. Instead, we raised the banner of social justice and virtue. Over time, with steadfast publishing of reliable news and opinion, Segeilbo has prevailed. When we open and show the truth, the way will be open, centering on Heavenly Parent's will, and not surrender by enemy or threaten and criticize. Finally, Segeilbo could gain the victory. When my husband and I conceived a Segeilbo, we knew it was being born into the world at a turbulent time. Though it has stood alone as a pine tree in an empty field, Segeilbo has consistently defended justice while exposing fraud, corruption, and other social ills. The newspaper caters to no political ideology or religious group. Its editors and reporters are exemplary professionals, investing their blood, sweat, and tears for the citizen of Korea and of the world. That's why our Sege Times, Segeilbo, continuously going forward to make a righteousness in the society for Korea and the world. So we could see our history of the newspaper and the role of newspaper. So World Media Conference and media outlet, 1971, launching of Weekly Religion, 1975, launching of Sekai Nippo in Japan, 1976, launching of News World in USA, and 1978, launch of World Media Conference and victory over communism, educating of the righteousness of the kingdom of God. 11th World Media Conference, April 10, 1990 in Moscow. So those conference was continuously going on. And Sege Times, 1989. Renchon meeting with President Kim Il-sung, Maejeon, South Hannam Province, near Hunnam, North Korea, article published on December 7, 1992. So when true parents met Kim Il-sung, those news was published by the Segeilbo. So media's role is important. In February 1, 1999, the Sege Times 10th anniversary, Daejun Lotte Hotel Seoul also was held. I think this is President Kim Dae-jun, I think. Really also together. Maybe I have to check with true parents. And also weekly news and broadcast media. So school newspaper, so all newspaper activity, and even UPI, United Press International. Now I think a little bit difficult situation, but those media things was happen. And World Media Conference, right? So when we see our true parents' Providence, how much they are concerned about freedom of media and also influence of media. That's why investing to Japan, Korea, America, and South America, and each place. Yesterday, we had discussed many things about media and role of media and role of ourselves. That's why through sharing about True Mother's autobiography, we could rethink again how we can concern and develop our movement of media. That's why someone told that the Washington Times Oceania or media is really important, and our vision in the national level and regional level, so we can go together with our footprint of true parents, and we can put our heart and go forward. So today is 120 days Fundoke. Really, I appreciate, and our Johnson and our heart toward our heavenly parents and true parents is unchanging. So we will continue to develop more, inspired, and let's welcome our heavenly parents and true parents in our family and our nation and our region and world. So thank you for joining today. Let's have a great moment and happiness day today. Thank you very much once again. 감사합니다.
Thank you very much, Reverend Yutaka. Yes. Thank you, everyone. So yes, the history of setting up the newspapers around the world. I mean, I really didn't know so much about that place in China that that Father bought and kept as a memorial for the patriots of Korea. I mean, it's of the independence movement that I'm sort of eager to go to have an opportunity to go to China and to visit that and to be able to see all the patriots that sacrificed for the independence of Korea. Yeah. So thank you, everyone, and please feel free to share. Yep. There you go, Doug. Go ahead.
Yeah, Lushan is, I think, technically in Manchuria. And True Mother seems to have given us some vision here. I just want to read this one paragraph. Historically, it's on page 167. Historically, relations between neighboring countries in Northeast Asia have been complicated. Creating peace is like unraveling a ball of tangled yarn. It is difficult to find where to begin. But nothing will be accomplished by sitting with arms crossed. When the Sege Times Corporation reconstructed the Lushan courthouse, it did so to capture the anguish of the past age and enable visitors to experience the history of the Korean people overcoming a national crisis. It also points to the importance of creating peace within and among nations. So it's not part of China, it's part of Manchuria. And Manchuria has been over thousands of years a refuge for Koreans. So their DNA is strongly in that area. And the other thing about Manchuria is that it's been fought over by Russia, China, Japan. And when we were young in the church, we were one time told that True Father said that Manchuria will become part of Korea, and we were really surprised at that. And I didn't understand any of that, but this is making it more clear what we're learning. But the other sign of hope about Manchuria is that it has just bear with me. Manchuria. Well, in one sense, when we saw in Europe, Poland is a little bit like Manchuria, where the Germans and the Russians always fought over this territory too. So Manchuria was fought over by so many neighboring nations, and Mother's alluding to that right here. But that is also because of the DNA there and the independence movement, that grew there so strongly. They rose up the first against the Japanese occupation. So the freedom for independence and the desire for independence is very strong there. And it's a good indication that when Korea has the opportunity to rise up, it may very well be led by Manchuria, who understand Korea because they're like the doorway between Korea and China, you know. So Manchuria is the only part of the world that's really connecting Korea and China. All the trade that comes into, all the goods and services that come into Korea come through Manchuria. So the people are really kind of aware, given the fact that they have this Korean DNA and they have this independence background with the Changdeokyo independence movement. And it looks like I wouldn't be surprised if it's any month that something happens in Manchuria. So I wanted to share that. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Doug. Okay, Daniela's next. Go ahead.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, so I wanted to bring up the point of I just experienced this, the expanding of true parents in all the areas of the society, like media also is just how we have, developed and grown to, share our beliefs and culture and everything. But the main point is for us, I feel, especially us in not just Oceania, really, everyone, the point of incarnating the enormity of this philosophy that we are trying to bring to the world, to become world citizens. Actually, we're becoming cosmic citizens here. This is our, you can't even say it's our thought, because it's beyond thought. So we have to incarnate as we are, even sharing our true parents, what has been built already. So for me, the incarnation is actually the substantial, the substation kind of development. If we forget to, as we go forward and we understand more and more how to incarnate and to really live as global, universal, cosmic citizens, so which is combining, the Yin Sun and Sun Sun through the incarnation of the real love, true love, as we live every day. Thank you.
Thank you. Next is Jeff. Go ahead.
Well, that's a pretty deep one there. Anyway, I was just thinking about a couple of points. One was what Reverend Yamada was talking about first was about the media and importance to know the real history and the fact that they bought that building in Manchuria. Even our journeys around New Zealand, they're accompanied or preceded by reading a bit of history before we go there, to know about the historical figures and exactly what happened and what those figures did, so we can have a correct understanding of the difficulties that New Zealand is facing in order to try to reconcile the different ethnicities in New Zealand, and also particularly between Pākehā and Maori people, which is really a big issue in New Zealand politics today. So yeah, media needs a lot of sort of really drilling down in research I'm interested to know a bit more about what's going on in Samoa, because there are very pro-fast people here in New Zealand that I relate to almost on a daily basis. And so anyway, the other thing was is that especially Australian brothers and sisters will know very well Ming, the brother who joined originally from Palau. He came to Palau almost randomly, ended up there, and he was witness to and taught the principle. So he is a Korean Chinese, and he lives up above North Korea in China. So he was raised up in China, but the village they live in, the people, they all speak Korean and carry out many Korean traditions. The amazing thing is that we've taught many people the divine principle, but he understood. And it really sort of helped me to understand the deep spiritual foundation of some people that needs to support their ability to understand the meaning of the divine principle and true parents. And so he amazingly, he just kind of understood and remained. And as you know, went to Australia and got blessed with a little blessed child now. So anyway, so that makes you really think about the people in that area up there, having that incredible spiritual foundation of Korean people. So anyway, it's yet to be understood more, but yeah. Anyway, that's what I want to say. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Go ahead, Chris.
Good morning, everyone. And I remember when we were in Korea, and it was illegal to report about North Korea. And Bohee Park, I think, was heading up, I think it was him heading up Sage-Ilbo at that time. And Korea were building tunnels under North Korea, still starting to build these tunnels. And anyway, they didn't want to report on it. And Father said to go ahead and report the truth about that, which they did. And Bohee Park almost went to jail for that. And I wondered how did Father know, how decided to deal with that? And it took me many years to come up with the simple fact that he was just reporting the facts, the truth, right? So my point is that if we look at all the things that are being reported, Universal Ballet, Sage Times, Washington Times, they need renewal, to be honest, right? Then we need to pray for that, because all the themes are congregating now, and that we need to really support that they can have this renewal and really start to be regenerated. Because I've been watching alt news for 4 or 5 years, and to be honest, I've only seen the Sage Times mentioned 3 or 4 times in all that time. No, Washington Times, I mean, sorry. And they have great opinion pieces, but to be frank, they're a little short on facts, and they could have really done a lot more. So I'm not there. I know that those jobs are difficult, but I'm not saying this to be negative. I'm saying because they need support now to really find this renewal and really start to be a force where they should be. And let's see headlines, not of 1990, but of 2021, where they really start to be at the forefront of what's going on. I feel from what we've seen and what's been said that I hope this renewal is coming. They are a force to be reckoned with, there's no doubt about that. But anyway, just adding a little bit of reality, I think, to the situation, and let's pray that they can really be a strong force in the very near future.
Hey, thanks, Chris. Yes, Isla, go ahead. Can't hear you, Isla.
you hear now?
Yes, that's okay.
Yeah. So we were in New York the time of Washington Times starting, and it was after the blessing. Father said, all the missions are finished. He wants all the members to come to Washington Times. And Mr. or Reverend Yu was in charge of Ilva Ginseng, and he went to Father and said, but this is some business. And Father became really upset and says, you give me 40 members. So he lost 40 members, thinking business is more important than media. And the other thing is, just Chris mentioned about media, is Tiempos del Mundo was, we ended up in Mexico, of course. And Tiempos del Mundo was very important presence in that very hot political time in Central America. And even if they were not maybe read by local people, but the presence of that media was very important. And so presence of the Washington Times is extremely important in Washington, D.C., even though the distribution may not be so big. And anyway, it becomes more online news more and more. Anyway, just wanted to say that True Parents' focus on media is so important. And now we are in online world. Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you. Yeah, media is very important to always promote and share the truth. You know, the truth is, you know, the thing that helps people make the right choices and decisions. And if they're not informed, then they just swayed by whatever the media is saying. So that's, you know, the value of having our newspapers that really, you know, proclaim the truth. And even, you know, you don't hear it so much as Isla says, you know, because it's there, and we may not hear it directly because our own media suppresses, you know, those sorts of news articles here in Australia, because being tending to the left, you know, but they, you know, we have to really search the internet to find that, and having that truth there helps, you know, because I heard when Tom McDevitt was here, and he was surprised how many people in Australia were subscribers to the Washington Times through the internet. He didn't realize there was, you know, thousands of people here reading it, you know, on a regular basis. So there's, you know, I'm sure that's the same in New Zealand, that there are a lot of people reading it on the internet and not just believing, you know, the media within Australia or New Zealand itself. So it's vital that they're there and continue. Yeah. Thank you. Who else wants to? Yeah, Mr. Arai, go ahead.
Not to directly talk about media, but today is thank you. It's 120 days, and I think not only everyone wants to say, you know, thanks, and timely started. It's Heavenly Parents' Day. It's 40 days fast. They extended 120 days, and really it's a good timing. And in a Corona situation, we can't see, we can't visit, but we could see, you know, it's beyond the nation and also ocean, and including island. I'm very happy. Someday I heard chicken voice from Solomon Island, cockatoo or something. Oh, we can hear together, and also really thanks to John's support. Reverend Itaka's incredible understanding Korean language, Japanese, English. It's no waste of word. It's all, it's really a word, it's sentence shine, and also encourage preparation, it pick up. I don't know how, where can also, it's the photo or the diagram, it's really explain not only through mothers, also including through fathers. It's a message, it's a word, it's sentence, and I think really timely, it's Oceania. This is one of the incredible event Oceania for 2021. Many people are really excited, like Douglas, sitting King Island, not so easy to communicate other, but incredible. We find out his personality, its understanding, detail, accurate. It is incredible, and we other, but really, I'm very happy. I think Island member, they can join. Sometimes they don't see, but really very happy. And but anyway, it's really, it's thank you for the special time. I think we can more kind of unity, and I think Pentecost in Oceania, in family, it's really, truly, I think it's please thank you, and also members, that's a lot of testimony, tearful testimony. We understand, they are working at the area, that kind of opinion hard. And anyway, I like to thank you so much. Just I say thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Arai. Thank you, everyone. And it's that time we need to join together in unison prayer. So I'll just share the screen, and let's begin. Adieu, adieu, adieu. Thank you, everyone, and have a great day, and see you tomorrow. Okay.
See you tomorrow.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.
Heaven's blessings to everyone.
Thank you very much.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Thank you.
So
Love
much.
you. Bye, Kathy. Bye, Rick.
Mm.